Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here to do your sneak peek for the week. Next 7 days, my friends, we are at it again. How are you? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. Thanks for congregating here. I am grateful that you've done so. I am here with all of these cards to my left. I do have 12 decks. I'm going to use one of those decks on each to do a reading for each of the signs of the Zodiac. And I'm going to mark everything down below in the description. So you're going to be able to just scroll this video and find out what it is that you need in terms of your signs. If it doesn't come up as the chapters, please look below in the description to find the timing for your sign. I am going to read from these decks, and I do this once a week, and just to give you fresh energy for the week. Actually, it's for the next 7 days, so it doesn't really matter when you get this, whether that is today, tomorrow, or next year. It's going to be for the next 7 days whenever you get it, because not all of us are at the same place at the same time. We're not all learning the same lessons right now. So I'm just going to ask you to please stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. Look, sun signs are great, but it's only your personality, and that does not make relationships compatible. Your personality is going to change based on the people that you hang out with. And what's kind of more static is your moon and your rising. So look, you keep telling me that you know that because you're a certain kind of Scorpio, everybody's that Scorpio, or you're a certain kind of Taurus, everybody's that kind of Taurus. And it's just not true, because the moon and the rising sign influence your sun. So please get familiar with your natal charts, because they are free everywhere on the interwebs. I do have private reads open, my friends, so if you are interested in finding out your energy, please take a look at the pinned comment, which I put under every video that I upload. There's a link there for Hipsy, and it's the only place where you can book me. I will never approach you for a reading. In fact, I will never even speak to you in DMs, because that's where the trouble starts, right? So if you're getting a DM from me and you think you're speaking with me, it is not me. And you will know when I'm answering your comments in the comment section. I try and keep it spam free whenever I can. So yeah, if you want a live reading, or if you want a pre-recorded reading, please take that link to Hipsy and take a look at my pricing there. I do have many packages there. They begin at $25 for the pre-records. And if you're interested in a live reading, whether that is over the phone or face-to-face through video, please take a look at my timetable, and you can get between 5 and 75% off of your reads with me when they are live. All right, let's get it done. Let's see what's going on. We're going to start with you, Aries. Oh, and welcome to Sagittarius season, as we just turned, right? Welcome to Sagittarius season. Aries, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. My fire family. All this Aries I got on my chart. All the fire I got in my chart. I might as well be a fire sign, just saying. In case you hadn't noticed. I'm not a conventional Taurus. Tell me what Aries, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me what's going on for the next 7 days for you, Aries. What's going on for Aries? Aries, we're starting you off with the 9 of Wands. It feels like, I want to say that this week you're at the edge of something. You're feeling like you've put in enough energy. You might be feeling like a little bit of burnout this week. Possibly you're kind of exhausted with something here. It feels like you've been dealing with a lot, I'm going to say. And so I think that comes to a peak in the next 7 days. We have the Emperor energy here. We have the moon energy here. Oh, very interesting. You know what it is that I think you don't see is happening in the next 7 days? I feel like, yep, there it is. It feels like when somebody is running a marathon and they dig deep for that last few minutes to try and get themselves across the finish line. That's what this feels like, because the Emperor is here. And I feel like with this 9 of Wands being as the thing at the top of your mind here, the center of your reading, it feels like this is something that has been exhausting you, burning you out, or maybe you feel like you're on the peak of burnout, or you feel like you have nothing left in the tank, Aries. That's what it feels like. But look, the Emperor is here. I feel like you're going to dig deep and find whatever you need in order to finish out this month. It feels like, because we all are already deep into the end of the month. I think that you're going to dig deep to finish out the end of this month, and you're going to take control or be in control of yourself. I feel like with the moon energy here is things are not as they seem, and I think that people see you as sort of in this energy of the 10 of Wands. And the 10 of Wands is the place where I feel like people see you in the Nine of Wands, but what they don't understand is you still have just a little bit left in the tank. That's what it feels like. You have a little bit left in the tank. And then once you finally release whatever it is that you've been carrying, I feel like it's going to be smooth sailing from here. I don't even think that you realize that you have a little bit left in the tank, because I think that you're a little bit exhausted from whatever that is for you that has been making you feel this way. We do have the World card. See, something is wrapping up here. There is something here that you are accomplishing, or it's some kind of a milestone. So I feel like you've put all of your time, effort, and energy into something, a cycle that needs to close here, or the accumulation of a chapter ending. It's going to end in some sort of a conversation or a realization. So it feels like this Nine of Swords, as you are coming to your wit's end. You're just about burnt out, and I think you're over it, is what I feel like. And that's when you jump into this Emperor energy. It feels like you're very close to cutting something away, cutting something out, telling the truth, having some sort of realization. It could be the end of a contract. It could be the end of a life contract, a love contract. It could be the end of a work contract. But it feels like you're over it. We've got the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, friend, and I'm telling you, Three of Pentacles in the reverse is the breaking down of some sort of foundation. So I don't think that you expected this. I don't think that you expected that the foundation you had spent a lot of time building is about to crumble. But I feel like this Nine of Wands energy is the place where you're just like you're in fuck it mode. You're like, no, I don't care. I'm just going to do what I've got to do. I'm going to release the burdens. It feels like this Moon energy is something that maybe you're feeling very heavily emotional about something. You might be dropping all of that. It feels like you didn't expect that this foundation would begin to crumble, but I feel like it's either it could be like a friend group or a community service project, or it feels like something that you had been building slowly, putting all of your time, effort, and energy into, and you've come to the realization that this is done. It's over. It's burning me out. I don't have any more energy to put in it. It's time for me to take control of whatever's going on in the Moon energy and move forward with that. I feel like you're dropping whatever you've been hiding in the Moon energy here. We have the Five of Pentacles. That's what it is. I feel like this last burst of energy for you, Aries, is departing. It's what it feels like. I'm just up to my eyeballs, and I just am not interested in this anymore. Look at this. The Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands tells me you're pulling away from something. You're moving forward and leaving something else in the rearview mirror. That's what it looks like here. You know you've got to go, my friend, and boy, are you ever. Yeeks. Look, when the Knight of Swords shows up, it's because it's a little bit of aggressive energy. It could be aggressive words, aggressive actions, or something that happens really quickly. So I feel like somebody here doesn't really see it happening just yet, but I think that you don't have anything left in the tank, or you feel like you don't have anything left to put toward a crumbling foundation. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a job that you hate. It's a situation thing, and it could be a group of people, a friendship group or a community, but it feels like you're over it. You're over not getting what you've been giving, because the Three of Pentacles in the upright is the cooperation, collaboration. I don't think you're getting that. I feel like it's you're now carrying everything, because the Emperor does. The Emperor is carrying everything, and it's weighing you down with the Ten of Wands here. We do have the Page of Swords. Yikes, look. I feel like you're curious about what's out there. There's two swords here, right? One in the hand of the Page and one in the hand of the Knight. And I feel like this is one of the hardest decisions you'll ever make. I feel like you've been blocked from moving forward because this thing is weighing you down. It's like cement lederhosen here. I feel like you got rocks tied to your ankles. And it's time for you to say, look, I can't do this anymore. I think it's the end of something. You're wrapping something up here. And I think this is, you may not look at it right now as as a milestone or an achievement of some sort, but it's because the Nine of Wands is here, because you're gassed. You're gassed. You spent enough time, energy, and effort here. You can't do it. It's time to take action, to just release something and go. And I think you are. Tell me what the outcome is, please, for Aries. We've got the Ten of Cups. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. Whoo-wee. Really, Aries, you're not playing. Yikes. Seven of Swords, friend. So look, I don't know what's going on with you. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's somebody else, the guy behind you. I don't know. But we've got the cycles that are coming to an end, friend. We've got 10 Wands, 10 Cups, 10 Pentacles. You're starting again. You're about to start over. Because when the 10s are in the room, so are the aces, right? So the Ace of Pentacles is here. The Ace of Cups is here. The Ace of Wands is here. So I feel like you're at the and the Ace of Swords is here. Look, you're the magician. You are creating some sort of new scenario out of ending something. You're beginning something. And this is your magician energy. You're in creation mode right now. You've got all the aces in hand, and you know that you can take a step whatever way you want. It's going to work out because you're the emperor and you're in control. But the Seven of Swords is here with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. And it seems to me that there is a secret hiding or something that's hiding under the surface that's pertaining to your family, your money, your marriage, your relationship, your long-term thing. It could be your job. There's something here that's coming out that you're going to realize has been hiding under the surface. And I think I want to tell you, if I can, what that is. We've got the 9 of Swords, we've got the 8 of Swords, and we've got the 2 of Wands. It's a decision you know that you've had to make for a long time, and it's been on your mind. You've been stuck in this energy of, I can't make this decision. I know if I do, it's over. And it is, because the 9 Swords is here and the 1 is here. Look, all the 10s are here. The endings are here. You're stepping out of an old cycle. And I think that with the 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords energy, it tells me that what's under the surface, what it is that you are deceiving others. And what I mean by that is, I'm not calling you a liar. What I'm saying is you've been keeping it under the surface because you didn't want it to come to an end. But I think that the moon energy is getting you to pull into your emperor energy, and you're making some sort of push forward here with the 8 of Wands, because I just can't do this anymore. This is the final stretch, the final leg of the race, friend. Tell me what's around the corner. We have the 9 of Pentacles. It is single energy. It's building something by yourself. We've got the 2 of Pentacles. Look, the 2 of Wands is here as well. You're making a decision. You're thinking about the future. You're thinking about adventure. You're thinking about what's out there for me. I own all of this stuff, and what is it doing for me? I'm stuck at the 2 of Wands. I need to take action. So the 2 of Pentacles is here saying, I need to get my shit in order. I need to get things in order, and it's time for me to move forward here and make the hardest decision I've made. 2 of Swords, right? The Hermit is here. I think that right now you're in Hermit energy. I think you're thinking about it. What do I say? How do I say it? Do I just pack my stuff and go? Do I just give my notice? Do I just walk out of the job, out of the workplace? What do I do? I feel like you're thinking about what to do. 4 of Pentacles tells me that you're trying to hold back. Look, I feel like the reason you're trying to hold back is because I don't think that you have the energy right now to deal with the 5 of Swords, because the 9 of Wands is what we started with. I think that you're burnt out. I think that you have done enough. I don't think you have anything else in the tank, or you think you don't. The Ace of Wands is coming to show you have a tiny bit left, and that is to bring things to a close, I think. I think that you've been avoiding it. 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, you've been avoiding it because you're worried about an argument or a fight. You don't want to deal with the fallout. And I think that the King of Cups is keeping it under the surface. I feel like you're going to have to eventually say something, and I think that happens in the next 7 days, because I think you're over it, friend. There's something here that you're over. We've got Virgo energy. We've got Capricorn, Gemini. We've got Taurus energy. Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, Cancer, and Pisces, Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. This cycle is closed, or it's closing. And I think the sooner you realize that, the better. And then you can just sit down or lay down and retract your energy, pull your energy back. All right, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter, the next 7 days for my bull gang. How are you, friends? Hope you're well. Taurus, Uranus is retrograding in your sign. This is the last stretch of the race. You've been on an 8-year marathon, friend. And it's time for everything to clean itself up. Now, not everybody is at this point. I'm just going to be honest with you. Not everybody's learned these lessons. But for those of you who have learned these lessons and you've been through it and it's been exhausting and you've learned the lessons, it is time to clean everything up now. We have Uranus back in our sign. I say us because I'm a Taurus sun, back in our sign as of the 7th of November, and it'll be there till the 25th of April. And it's just the last moments of cleaning up your finances, your relationships, things that were undone. Let's find out what's going on for you, Taurus, in the next 7 days. Oh my, we're just going to start right there, Taurus, with the Tower. Something is shifting. Look, these are the last moments. Everything that has fallen apart is falling back together again. And I feel like some of you are still in this place where things are still falling apart. It's bringing it all to your view. So you will, it's like you needed to be shook in order to know that something here needs to change. We've got the 8 of Cups. There's something here in the next 7 days, Taurus, that's causing you to depart, detach, or just say, I've put enough emotional energy into that. I'm not settling for this anymore. Actually, I think it's you that's causing the Tower. I feel like it's you that's causing the Tower. I don't think this is something that is coming to terrorize you. I think you're ready for it. I think you're ready for it because look, the Emperor is ready for anything. The Emperor is wearing armor underneath the clothing. The Emperor is ready for anything at any time. Ready to take on whatever they need to take on in order to regain control. I think that this Tower is you regaining control. It feels like somebody here is pulling back their emotional energy from someone and saying, no, you can't use my emotional energy anymore. Taurus, we've got the 8 of Wands because I need it, because I got to make this big push forward into the future. And it's going to be on my terms. That's what the Emperor is here for. Could be masculine or a feminine Emperor. Look, whoever you are, whether you're a woman or a man, you're in your masculine energy because this is who you need to be in order to take on the Tower. Tell me about the Tower. What do we need to know? What does Taurus need to know about the Tower in the next 7 days? We've got the Knight of Cups. Knight or the King? King of Cups. And the King of Cups has been keeping things under the surface. This is what you do, Taurus, right? You forgive, forgive, forgive. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I'll let it go, I'll let it go. And then boom, the Tower falls. You're like, no more. That's it. I think you've been in this energy of the King of Cups for a while, that you've not been saying anything because you don't want to cause an argument or a fight, because that's someone who's emotionally intelligent deals with life this way. The ones that are grown-ups in their emotions deal with life this way. I'm just not going to fight about it. I'm going to keep it under the surface. My feelings I'm going to keep to myself. And when I'm ready to go, I will go. We've got the Page of Swords. I feel like it feels like you've unearthed something here. The 5 of Wands, yeah. Taurus, it feels like in the next 7 days you're going to unearth something because the Page of Swords is the one who is observing from a distance, but also the one who's digging for information. So I feel like you have been mining for information. I don't know what that means, okay? I don't know what situation it's in. It could be a relationship. Maybe somebody tells you something about the person you're dating or tells you something about your spouse. Maybe it's a job. Maybe they're telling you, yeah, no, they're giving that job to so-and-so, you're not getting the promotion. It feels like you come upon some information, and I think that it was the last straw, is what it feels like. You're like, fine, if that's the way you're going to play, you're going to do me dirty, then that's it. I'm going to follow the Tower. I'm going to take charge of it myself, and I'm out. The 8 of Wands is here. It feels like with the 5 of Wands, you actually argue with yourself because you're emotionally intelligent, Taurus. I know that because the King of Cups is here, that you're emotionally intelligent, so you argue from within. You're trying to bottle it up. I don't want to go out in a blaze of glory, but I do have this information in hand. I've seen it myself. I've observed it, and now I know that I'm going to cause a shift here by leaving, but I've got to go. I've got to disconnect from my emotions, and I have to do this head over heart. We have the Four of Swords. I'll deal with the healing later, but I've got to allow this illusion. It's like something you thought was one way, Taurus, and the information that you receive from someone, or maybe you dig it up yourself, it's absolutely the other way. And you're like, nope, I'll let you go only so far. And then the Four of Swords shows up and says, look, I'm just going to break down the illusion for somebody here. I'm going to tune them in, tell them exactly what I think, because the Page of Swords is here, and then I'll deal with the healing part later. We've got the Nine of Swords. Yeah. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. So Taurus, this Nine of Pentacles could mean, you know what? I've just got to build it myself. I've decided that the best way to do this is alone. I've got the confidence. I've got the money. I've got the savings. I've got the good reputation. I'll just take it with me and I'll go. The Nine of Swords tells me that it is a bit of a worry that maybe you've been in a relationship for a while and that you don't want to be single. But I feel like there is something that's coming to the surface here that you can no longer ignore. You can't ignore it. You can't forgive it. I feel like somebody here is stepping into their Empress energy and is deciding, you know what? I built this structure. It's like I gave you life, I'll take you out. That's what it feels like here. It feels like the Emperor is like, look, I built this structure. And the Empress says, yeah, well, I adorned it for years. And I gave you everything. I doted, I was kind, I overgave for you. I built the structure that you live in. I pay for the structure. I cook all the meals and do all the laundry. And somebody here is just saying, I'm not doing this anymore. I think that how you're going to heal is a little bit worrisome. You know you're going to have to do it on your own, but I think you're confident enough to do it on your own. We have the Queen of Cups. You know, the thing is that when you are emotionally intelligent, I was having this conversation with a friend the other day, it's really hard to be angry. Like if you are so possessed by something someone did to you, that you can't stop thinking about it and all you want is revenge, that's not emotional intelligence. When you're emotionally intelligent, you don't forgive them, but you see things with the Page of Swords as they really are. You see things as they really are, and you understand why they did that thing, even though they did you dirty, even though it wasn't the right thing to do, and you maybe don't forgive them just yet, but you just almost can't be angry with them because you're like, oh, it's sort of like when Christ was on the cross and said, forgive them, they know not what they do. They're blind to the situation. And so it's almost like when you're emotionally intelligent, it's like, yeah, you're upset about it. Absolutely. It's a normal human function to be upset about it. But I feel like when the Queen of Cups shows up, that you're compassionate. Like it feels like you're like, oh, wow. I saw them doing it to other people, but I didn't think they would do it to me. Tell me what the outcome is, please, for Taurus. We've got the Justice card. There it is. It's your justice, right? You finally see it for what it is, and now you get to take control of it, the Emperor being here, and you get to say, no more illusions. The Five of Pentacles is here. That's the Justice, you walking away. And the Chariot is here. You're the heck out of there. You know what it is I feel like you have disciplined your feelings, disciplined your emotions, disciplined your finances, because the Nine of Pentacles is here. The Emperor is here. I feel like you, and the King of Cups is here. You're the one that's been working on you, disciplining the self, keeping everything in balance. You finally are in balance with your feminine and masculine energy. And then you come across this information here. And you're like, no, that's the last straw. That's what it feels like. So the Five of Pentacles is here. I do believe that it does make you feel in lack, but I feel like you are disconnecting and saying, no more. I'd rather be walking this path by myself than be in this place where I'm being taken advantage of, because you are the overgiver, right? You will be taken advantage of if you're not careful. So Justice is here. Something is coming back into balance. You're making a harmonious situation out of a really terrible situation by leaving, getting in the Chariot and going. You're going off to success. And I feel like it's taken a while for you to get this discipline to say, look, I understand why you did what you did, and it was terrible, and I'll never speak with you again. But that's going to be your karma. I gotta go. That's what it feels like. Around the corner for you, Taurus, is the Six of Swords. I gotta go. That's what it is. We've got the, what is that? The Five of Cups is in the reverse. No. Oh, I love that. Because no regrets, right? The Five of Cups being in the reverse is, look, I don't have any regrets because I'm still whole. I'm still a whole person. I still have my health. I still have my wealth. I still have my job. I still have all of the things that mean something to me in the material world, 10 of Pentacles. I still have my family. And I'm not going to have any regrets from leaving. The Six of Swords is here because this was in motion for a really long time. It just turned out that this was the time where you actually saw it for what it was, or dug it up, I would say. Somebody was lying. Somebody was deceiving you, and I feel like it was some sort of deception, and it doesn't have to be a huge deception. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. But I think it was like the last thing, the straw. It was the last straw. Yeah, it was enough. There it is, the World card. We can't even plan that any better than that, and I feel like there's your big, bold move forward here with the Queen of Wands. Yeah, in order to bring balance to your life. I feel like you're starting over again. It looks like with the Page of Pentacles being here that you're starting over again, friend. But the World card is here, and I feel like it taught you this lesson here. It taught you resilience. It taught you that when you fall down 6 times, you get up 7. I feel like this was a lesson for you, and it's time for you to close the chapter and move on. And closing the chapter means you don't want revenge. You don't really care. When you just take the scissors, Taurus, and do that, that's it. You're done. You're gone. And I think that's what this reading is about for you in the next 7 days, friends. And it might already be over. Like, you might have already left the situation, but I think this is the time where you finally just take the scissors and cut the ribbon, and you're done. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Taurus. We've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We've got Sagittarius, Cancer, and Pisces, Gemini. We've got the Emperor, who's Aries. We've got Justice, Libra. And we've got Scorpio energy here. We've got Piscean energy as well. So look, I feel like with the Scorpio energy, Pisces energy, first 2 cards I pulled out were the Tower and the 8 of Cups. I feel like you're leaving in the kindest way, like almost in an energy of disappointment. Okay, you could have done that differently, but you didn't. So now here comes your consequence. Because karma is what it is. Never loses an address. Gemini, let's find out what's going on for you. Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter, Gemini. Tell me what's going on for Gemini in the next 7 days. Gemini, how are you? Hope you're good. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. What's going on in the next 7 days for Gemini? Gemini, we have the Hermit. Okay, so you might just be keeping to yourself this week. You might be trying to figure something out here. Feels like you could be burnt out because the Hermit is about finding their light. Maybe someone has dimmed your light. Tell me what's going on here. We've got the 9 of Cups. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. And we've got the 8 of Swords. You know what it feels like? You are pulling back your energy to be by yourself, because I feel like there is some sort of it feels like it's some sort of investment, or you're making a money move, or something that you intend to do that's brand new. It almost feels like I just need to take a breath. I need to take a breath and be by myself for a moment to think this out. The 8 of Swords is here. And so it feels like you are in your head about something that's either going to begin brand new, or something that you're finally going to produce as something that's tangible in the 3D, is what it looks like here in this 3D Earth. So the 9 of Cups is here. I feel like you go into Hermit energy happily, I'm going to say, but it is a place of self-preservation. I feel like you're preserving your happiness, making sure you're in balance, spending time by yourself, which is not odd for Gemini, right? And the Ace of Pentacles tells me, yeah, I feel like you are looking at beginning something that is, it's like you're planting a seed and you're wondering with the 8 of Swords, where do I plant it? How do I do that? What's going to make me the happiest? Tell me about the Hermit, please. I feel like you're actually going over analytics, like looking at the plans, looking at the blueprints. Before I really start this project, what are the blueprints? You're going over all of the rules you put in place, or the details. You're going over all of those details by being in Hermit energy. We've got the World. We've got the High Priestess in the reverse. I kind of like that because it looks like you've decided that you have to end a chapter of your life, and something, when you make that decision, and not before then, when you make that decision of bringing something full circle, realizing, okay, well, maybe this is over, but maybe this is a milestone for me. This is something I've never done before. I've never ended a chapter deliberately. It feels like the High Priestess is in the reverse. It feels like it reveals something to you. Something that possibly has been kept secret. Three of Wands, that your future awaits. I kind of love it. So it does feel like there is something here that I feel that you're giving up willingly, but I feel like you're in hermit mode to figure out what is the best way to do that. Because I think you already have the Ace of Pentacles in hand, and you're trying to figure out, where do I place the seed? Where do I put my investment? The Nine of Cups being here, I want to stay happy. I don't want to deplete my wealth. I don't want, you're happy with being able to have this Ace of Pentacles here, this opportunity to invest in something. But I think that you're being very careful with your investment. And it's going to work out for the future, because something is going to be revealed in your future that it's like you're going to look back there and say, oh, whoo, boy, good thing I ended that. Like, it feels like you're making an intuitive decision, and it's going, your intuition is going to be confirmed. We've got the King of Pentacles. It might have to do something with money, because the Ace of Pentacles is here and then the King of Pentacles. I feel like wherever you plant that seed, it grows exponentially, and it feels like it puts you in this King of Pentacles energy. So if this is, you've applied for a job, maybe the Ace of Pentacles is, or it feels like maybe you invest in the stock market, or you invest your time, effort, and energy into something, it's going to grow quickly. And all of this here being stuck in your head, trying to figure out what to do, I think is a useful way of, it's a good use of your time, is what I'm trying to say here. We've got the Six of Swords. This King of Pentacles win for you is going to allow you to move forward here into the future. The Devil energy is here. So I feel like there still are a little bit of worries about what's coming up in the future. But I think that you know that regardless of what's coming up in the future, you're going to a calmer place. I feel like the overthinking part is over, because the Six of Swords is about things that are already in motion. And it feels like this King of Pentacles energy, I'm going to say you're really good with your money. Like, it feels like I'm talking to a Gemini who's really good with their money, who makes really good decisions, who's very solid and grounded, and a person who is money-minded. So maybe you are somebody who works with other people's money, or maybe just your own, but I feel like you're making a really good decision to move forward on some sort of investment here. But I mean, and whenever we do that, depending on what the investment is, the devil shows up to give us a little bit of fear, right? Fear and doubt, and it's normal for us to have fear and doubt when we're moving into, and it might be because of the calmer place. I'm just going to say you've lived in financial chaos for a while, because the Six of Swords is about going from the chaos to the calm, and the chaos is connected to the King of Pentacles. So maybe you've been living in financial chaos for a little bit of time, and you're about to move into a time that, although is a little bit worrisome, is a lot calmer. Is a lot calmer space to be in. We've got the Two of Cups. And so, you know what you've done here is you've deepened your investment in the self, or you have deepened your connection to finances or money. I think you have a better understanding, and that's why you're able to move on to a calmer place. You feel better about the way that you're growing your financial future. And if you don't feel that way just yet, maybe you haven't learned that lesson yet, but I feel like it's going to be within the next 7 days that, although it feels like this is you're nervous maybe with the Eight of Swords to make this investment, because you don't know where it's going to end up. And I'm telling you that I think that if you make that investment, if it's a smart investment, it's going to grow for you here. What's the outcome? We've got the Page of Cups. Look, Page of Cups is always really good news. The King of Swords is here, and so is the Moon energy. So look, maybe you don't have all the details. And I would say that if you are looking at money, Pentacles are always about money, material wealth, practicality, could be health decisions that you're making. It could be about your workplace or whether to go into business for yourself. I'm just going to say that we are in Mercury retrograde still until the 29th of November. And even then, we're still going to be in the shadow phase, right? We're going to be leaving the shadow phase. So that'll be for a couple of weeks too. So we're looking probably about, the first or week and a half of December that will still have this cloudy vision of the moon. And that's why I'm saying this here, because the moon is here. And I feel like even though the King of Swords is here, he's very sharp of the mind, who makes really good decisions because they have all the facts. I'm going to say that you do have all the facts, but the reason that you're hesitating or that you feel this devil energy with a little bit of doubt or fear is because of Mercury retrograde is what it feels like. So it's probably foreshadowing your ability to be able to think logically. Although you are a good decision maker, because the King of Swords is, you're making the best decision for everyone involved. And I think that you are taking charge of the intellectual part of all of this. I feel like the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles are the two that are very practical, very logical. I'm going to move slowly. I'm going to make decisions that I need to make, and I'm going to make them head over heart. But the Page of Cups is here. Look, I feel like it ends up in a good way for you. It feels like you might, because of the Page of Cups being a surprise with the King of Swords here, you might at the last minute come to some sort of realization, some sort of big idea, or some sort of, oh, right, yeah, I did figure that out. Because I think in the Hermit energy, I feel like you're trying to look at, with the Eight of Swords sort of clouding the things here, is you're like, is everything in place? And I think that this comes up and says like a surprising, oh, right, yes, I remember, I looked at that thing before, it's okay. But the moon, I think, is casting shadows, right? Things are not as they seem because we're in Mercury retrograde right now. And it's hard. It's hard to get through the moon energy. What is around the corner for you here? We have the Four of Wands in the reverse. You might be selling a house. It could be that. You might be selling your house and buying another, or moving, possibly making a decision about that. We have the Seven of Wands. And we have the Seven of Cups. So yeah, it all seems confusing. The Seven of Wands tells me that it could be that you're maybe stuck in a price war. Maybe you're bidding on a house and you don't know if you're going to get it. You're not really sure. You've got everything covered. It could be that. It feels like with the Seven of Cups, it's a little bit of illusion. I'm going to say it's the illusion of the fogginess of the King of Swords. I'm going to say that it's hard. Mercury is here, but it's retrograding, so it feels like it's a confusion a little bit, right? Of what I should do next. Do I need to climb the mountain and get to the highest peak and look down to see what's going on? Seven of Wands, right? I need to protect my investment, protect myself. So it could be that you're moving or leaving a home, or you feel that maybe this could be maybe not a very good time to make a decision, which you would be right. And if you are, the King of Swords is usually a lawyer. So if that's not your energy, maybe that's a second set of eyes that you can get on the documents so you don't make the wrong decision. We have the Six of Cups. So it feels like you've made maybe a bad decision before, or this scenario seems familiar to you because the Six of Cups is nostalgia, right? This scenario possibly you've lost out on before, but it feels like a lot of money is on the line, or a really big investment. So possibly maybe get somebody else to look at it with you. I think you're a little bit nervous about what's going to go on in the future with the Nine of Swords here. So you might just need a second set of eyes that are legal, or an eagle eye, do you know what I mean? In order to make your final decision. We do have Piscean energy. We have Cancer, Capricorn, Gemini. We have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We have Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We have Cancer and Pisces. We have the High Priestess is in the reverse. So you're gonna get this realization, like something that's been hiding is going to come to the forefront here. So I don't think you have much to worry about. Just be very careful. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo, and Virgo energy here. All right. Let's look at you, Cancer. Tell me what's going on with Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. How are you, Cancer? I hope you're well. Let's find out what's going on for you in the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Hey, I think the next full moon that's coming up is in your sign. I don't necessarily know when that is. If you do know, maybe I'll put it in the comments when the next full moon is. Sometime in the early December, I think. We've got the Five of Swords. Arguments. Fights. Maybe arguing within the self. What's this? We've got the Two of Cups. The Nine of Swords. And the World card. Oh, you're at a crossroads, friend. Yep, you sure are. That's what it looks like to me. It feels like you're at a bit of a crossroads here. So it does feel like it's a bit of a worry. Because it feels as though if you bring something up, Five of Swords is here. It feels like there's a fundamental difference here, or we have difference of opinion. And I want to talk about it because I want to deepen our connection. But I feel like you feel that if you do bring it up, this could be a platonic or a romantic situation. It could be with a member of the family or a friend, but it could also be something that's romantic, and take it for whatever way it is for you. Because this is a general reading, so I'm not specifically reading for you that's watching, right? I'm doing it generally for everybody. So the Nine of Swords is here, and I feel like there's a worry that if I bring up my concerns, that we have difference of opinion on something, and it could be anything, that the World card is here. That there's a possibility that this just ends up closing the door. I think that you've been holding back or trying to hold your sword in the sheath. So I feel like with the Strength card, the strength is not in pulling the sword and cutting everybody to ribbons. The strength is knowing that you have the power to do that, but you keep it in the sword in the sheath at your side. And so I think that you've been holding back from this because you really don't want to have an argument, and you don't want things to break up or close. You don't want the door to close. But I feel like that's the reason you've been holding back. Yeah, you've been holding back from some sort of decision that you're making. I think you have a plan. I think you're planning on speaking to someone, whoever is connected to you in this Two of Cups scenario. And I feel like you're worried that this person is going to say, look, if you don't believe the way I believe, if we're not the same religion and we don't want the same things, and you can't do the things that I ask you because, just follow me blindly, then it's going to end. Well, then maybe the door needs to close. I'm just saying. Tell me about the Five of Swords. What is this here? Oh, the Moon. So you're unsure. It feels like tension under the surface. I'm just going to say this Five of Swords and the Moon feels like tension under the surface. This could go either way. I'm not really sure which way it will go. The Moon is illusion, but it also is fear that I can't see what I need to see in the light of the day, right? We've got the Nine of Wands, and I am so exhausted. I feel like you are Cancer. You know what it feels like? I'm going to say with the Nine of Wands, it feels like you are burnt out or exhausted. Feels like you've been in something for a while. As we look at the Nine of Wands, this particular depiction, we see that person has ivy around the leg. Now, ivy only grows on things that have been standing forever. So I feel like this is a long-term connection, whether it's friendship or a member of the family or a love relationship. It feels like you have been at this precipice, trying to hold off whatever it is that you need to say, because the Five of Swords is voicing an opinion that is not a popular one. And I feel like the Nine of Wands tells me that you're burnt out, like you're over it. But I'm going to say that's not really the time to have a conversation, right? When you have no energy left to give. We have the Knight of Wands here. The Ten of Wands is here. So the Knight of Wands is brave, right? I feel like after a very long time of waiting at the gate, I feel like you're going to be brave and say something, even if it causes arguments or fights, even if it causes us to split because we have fundamental differences, even if it causes the door to close, then it is the will of the universe. It's the will of God. Yep, I think that's what you're saying. If it's supposed to end, it'll end. If it's not supposed to end, we'll work it out. We've got the Six of Cups. So I think that you're hopeful, because I feel like there's a lot of water under the bridge. You've known this person forever. You may have grown up with them. Or this is a long-term relationship that you've been in. The Strength card is here, back again, and we have the Two of Swords. So you've been holding back from making a decision because you know with the full moon over the head of the person in the Two of Swords that this possibly is something that will come full circle and it will be released. Full moons are about release. The Two of Swords, you can see this person is up to their waist in their emotions, and I feel like this is a very emotional thing for you. It feels like you are trying to listen to your intuition, but until then you're holding back because this is something that has been in your life forever. Maybe this is the first and only job you've ever had. Maybe this is a relationship that you don't want to let go of. But it feels like it is a committed relationship for some of you, but it also feels like, look, you got to stand on business, Cancer. I'm just going to say, you've got to stand on business. You've got to do the thing that's best for you. It feels like you're fighting tradition. That's what it feels like. You're making a decision, and you are creating your own traditions. It does look like it could be somebody who is dealing in the heart space here. It feels like somebody here who is blocked in the heart space. This could be the person you're dealing with, or this could be you. It feels like there's a block in the heart space, and that maybe we just need to try again. Maybe I just need to try again. I feel like you're the one who is the traditional person, if this is a relationship, whatever kind, platonic or romantic. And it feels like you're the traditional person. And I feel like you're the one that is dependable, slow, moves slow. I always say you're the Taurus of all the water signs. But it feels like you are making a decision is based in your traditions. Yeah. And you're not willing to give anyone wiggle room on how you see tradition. It's like, this is the way I'm going. If you guys aren't going to follow me, if you're not going to follow me, then I'm just going to have to go on my own. But this is going to be a really hard decision for you to make. Tell me, what is the outcome? We've got the Tower. The Sun is here. And we've got the Three of Swords. I think that says it all. There is going to be an absolute shift. This is inevitable. This is something that you can't avoid. And look, for some of you, it'll be in the next 7 days. For some of you, it'll be further along than that. But it looks like you're coming to a realization. When the Sun shows up with the Tower, this is a major shift, and I see it for everything that it is. It's a breakthrough. It's pulling you into alignment. Even though it's heartbreaking, you have a realization that once you see that this whole thing was an illusion, that I've just got to let it go. I got to let it fall to the ground. I have to let it shift. And I think it's going to break your heart. I don't think you're going to be happy about it. Tell me what is around the corner for Cancer. We've got the King of Cups, we've got the Knight of Cups, and we've got the Page of Swords in the reverse. Ooh, boy. Look, when the Page of Swords is in the reverse, to me, that's smack talking. Somebody here is... It feels like this is a very close relationship that's been ongoing forever, maybe even other lifetimes. Like, I feel like this is somebody who you're really close to, whether it's a romantic person or somebody that you've grown up with or a best friend. And it feels as though you've been keeping everything under the surface. But look, with the Knight of Cups here and the Page of Swords in the reverse for me is somebody who is using poor words. Like, they're just going to lash out. Because they're throwing a tantrum like a child, right? They're throwing a verbal tantrum. They're going to attack you romantically. Well, you were never a good lover. You never made me happy. And it feels like that's probably what you're going to have to endure, and it's going to be heartbreaking. There we go. It's going to be heartbreaking. The Five of Cups is here. It's going to bring you to a place of clarity. I don't know how soon that is, but I feel like there is a contract here that's breaking, is what it feels like, because the Hierophant is here as well. You're making a decision to break some sort of a contract. And so it could be, look, maybe you're in business with a friend and you've got to break the contract. It feels like with the Five of Cups here that it is over. I'm going to say the happiness part is over. And we've got Two Cups here, which are here, and it feels like, the connection falls into disrepair. I think it got very comfortable. Two cups. We have 7 cups here. It got confusing. This whole thing seems like maybe the depth of love was an illusion. It feels like one of you was loving at the King of Cups depth, which is, I really, really loved you to the depths of my soul from head to toe. And somebody else was in the Knight energy. They were just circling and they weren't really in, and I don't know which one of you that was, but it feels like that something is coming to an end very quickly. We've got Scorpio energy and then Taurus. We've got Leo. We've got Piscean energy, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Cancer and Pisces. Boy, Leo, Scorpio a couple times here. Yep. All right. Let's talk about you, Leo. Let's find out what's going on for Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Leo. How are you, Leo, my fire family? I'm a Leo Jupiter, by the way. You are part of my fire family. Let's find out what's going on for you, Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Leo. Leo, you have a decision to make this week, and it feels like it is a hard one. I feel like you are trying to feel this out with your intuition. The universe is trying to get you to move forward, but to do it in a way that you are happy with your decision. It feels like there is something that is barreling at you that I feel like it's really quick. Look, I feel like this is a quick decision and you're not good at that. It feels like you've been blocked from making this decision, or you've blocked yourself from making a decision. It feels like you don't want progress, or you don't want to move forward. You don't want to have to make this decision. The Ace of Wands is here. I don't think that you have much of a choice. I mean, with the minor arcanas, you always do, but it feels like this is coming anyway. I'm going to say something has presented itself. A new opening has presented itself. And although this could be a very exciting time of realization and excitement and creation, I feel like it still is coming at you too quickly, and you're going to have to make a quick decision. We've got the Empress here. It might be about your abundance. It could be about a person. The Empress can be a person, but also is an energy, remember? The Empress is Taurus and Libra, and so that is very analytically balanced energy. Someone who is doing it all for themselves and doesn't really need external validation. So I want to say that there is an internal struggle going on here, and it feels like that there is a new opportunity, a creative opportunity, some sort of exciting creative opportunity that is approaching. And I feel like Taurus energy, it feels like you don't want to make this decision right away because you are a fixed sign, and Leo, you don't do well with somebody saying, okay, make a decision now. I think that you feel that this opportunity is coming, and it could be a person. Let's find out what the Two of Swords is, though, because it feels like you are going to have to make some sort of intuitive decision here. We've got the Ten of Wands. This has been weighing heavy on you, very much. I think that you know that inevitably you're going to have to make the decision, but it feels like it's been weighing heavy on you. You don't quite trust your intuition. Yeah, you've been arguing with yourself. Looks like with the Five of Wands here. Feels like there's an internal battle going on here with you and your intuition. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. So it feels like, how much time, effort, energy, or money am I going to put into a situation? I'm going to say that the Six of Pentacles with the Five of Wands is giving me the energy of I'm battling it because I know that once I give it, I'm not getting it back. This could be energy. This could be time. This could be effort. This could be money. But it feels like the Empress energy here, it's almost like it's expected of you, because I feel like the Empress energy is telling me that you are good with taking care of yourself, but that others around you expect you to just give it away freely. And it feels like there's a decision here that you need to make about where you're going to put your abundance. Am I going to put it into the Ace of Wands, or am I going to give it away to the people that are asking for it? Tell me more. We've got the Eight of Cups. We've got the Seven of Wands. Queen of Swords, you're making the hard decision is what you're doing, and it's going to break somebody's heart. Three of Swords is here. The Seven of Wands is telling me I have to stand up for myself. Yeah. I have to stand up for myself because they want me to do something that I'm not comfortable doing. It feels like with the Eight of Cups here that you are in this energy of I can't settle for this. if I let them always do what they always did, they're going to expect it out of me every single time. And I think you're right. I feel like the Queen of Swords is showing up to get you to liberate yourself from a situation where I feel like you feel sort of boxed into a corner or paint yourself into a corner. Do you know what I mean? That maybe you hadn't planned on somebody becoming codependent, but it feels like it's now expected of you. You gave it once as a gift, you gave it twice because you wanted to help, but now it's expected of you. And I feel like whatever you're giving away, you know that you're giving away and you're never getting back. And so it feels like it could be a financial burden. It could be a burden of time or energy, that somebody keeps wanting me to come and help them work on their house, fix their things, right? This happens sometimes when couples separate, that the other one calls the other one back. Oh, my house is broken. Could you fix the drain? Could you know what I mean? They start using that person as a maintenance person, feeling like they can do that. That's what this kind of feels like. Somebody is overstepping their boundaries. But I feel like it wasn't until recently that you got boundaries. So maybe in the next 7 days, you're going to put up your boundaries here, because the Queen of Swords does have that. Has boundaries, is liberating themselves from a situation, saying, look, if you want to come in, go ahead and ask, but I'm putting up my boundaries and standing up for myself. It's time for me to pull my energy back from you, my emotional energy. I can't keep caring about you if you don't care about yourself, because the Six of Pentacles is an uneven give and take in some cases, and I think it is in this case because the Five of Wands is here. And so the Eight of Cups is telling me that you can't settle for this anymore. And just because you are the Empress, feminine or masculine, because you're the one that's stable and has abundance, they can't keep draining it. They can't keep draining you. Yeah, everything's got to change. And when everything changes here, you will liberate yourself. So the Wheel of Fortune is here and having you expand to look into the future and expand the way you look at things. Everything is changing, and I feel like there is a new cycle that's about to begin for you. And it could be that once we're out of retrograde, or now that we're in the new cycle, right? We're in Sagittarius season. It feels like everything is about to change, but I think it's because you're putting up some sort of a boundary with people who have been just assuming that they can just overspend and then you'll show up to save them. But everything's changing, and it's changing in your benefit because you're making all these changes, but it's just going to be hard for you to make the changes. You got to listen to your intuition. That's all. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the Hanged Man. Ooh, and the Hierophant. Wow. So there's a lot of changes coming up for you here. You know what it is? It is you taking back your power is what it looks like. I feel like with the High Priestess here that it felt like here that you were doubting yourself, that there was a block in your intuition, but there is no longer. So the outcome tells me you keep it to yourself, you make the decision, but you make it silently. I don't need to share it with you. I'm just going to do what I've got to do. So the High Priestess tells me, because in the hanged one energy, you've gotten your perspective. You've gotten your perspective and you've been enlightened, and it's time for you to cut yourself out of the tree. And it's going to hurt because look, that person's hanging from the tree. I got to cut myself out of the tree, and there's nobody there to catch me, right? I'm going to fall on my head. It's going to hurt. The Three of Swords is here. And we have that Hierophant. I think you're doing it because you're rebuilding your structure. You're recalibrating yourself. You're showing people, look, this is who I really am. I do have access to the higher self. I'm the leader. I'm on a path that I am no longer going to wobble on. Whenever you need to call me off the path, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm staying on my path. I've got my structure, and I trust myself that I'm doing the right thing. I feel like that you're trusting your intuition and you're going with it because you feel like you're doing the right thing. Tell me what is around the corner for Leo, please. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. We've got the King of Cups in the reverse. And we've got the Nine of Cups. Look, it feels to me if this is a relationship that is breaking down, or that you are no longer giving financial help to somebody, it feels like this person has been draining your finances for a while. The King of Cups is in the reverse, and to me that is things are out of control. My emotions are out of control. I don't have control of this anymore. And what's next to it is the Ten of Pentacles. And it feels like also the King of Cups is drained. And so emotionally, but also being drained financially. The Nine of Cups is here. You just need to bring things back into alignment, my friend, is what it is. You need to, this person's got their arms crossed, their legs crossed. They're like, no, no, you can't do that. I can't let you do that anymore. Need to protect my wish fulfillment. I need to protect my alignment. And I can't do this with you anymore, because I feel like this Ace of Wands is something exciting that's coming up for you. And it almost feels like a little bit of guilt. Like the Empress could have a little bit of mom guilt or dad guilt, that I want to do something for myself, but I feel like other people have been pulling you off the path up till now. We do have the Four of Swords. Yeah, it's going to take some healing, but I think you just got to say it, friend, right? Because the Knight of Swords is here. I think you just have to, not necessarily aggressively, but I think this thing is coming at you quickly, and I think you're just going to knee-jerk reaction. You're just going to say it and get in your chariot and go. I think you'll say it in the most disciplined way you know how, I'm going to say. The kindest or softest, because this is Cancer energy. But I feel like this revelation and realization that I've got to make a decision. I've been blocking myself from making this decision. You get clarity to liberate yourself, because things have to change. All right, we've got Sagittarius and Aries energy, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Sagittarius showed up for you a couple times. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, Taurus, more Taurus, Pisces, more Taurus, then Libra, and Aquarius energy and Piscean energy. Gemini is here as well, if I didn't say. All right, Virgo. Tell me about you, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Virgo. How you doing, friends? Tell me about Virgo. I think I do have one Virgo placement in my chart, but I think it's like Neptune or something. Yeah, something like that. Tell me about Virgo. The next 7 days, Virgo. There's a little bit of stability that's coming. You know what? I think things are slowing down for you. It feels like things are going to start to slow down. You're going to start to feel things become a little more stable in your life here. And we have the Ace of Wands. We have the Six of Pentacles. And we have the Three of Pentacles. Oh, interesting. So it feels like to me with the Six of Pentacles here that there is some sort of stability that's showing up here. It could be financially, or it could be in the workplace. We do have the Three of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. That's 9 Pentacles. It almost feels like somebody's taking you a little more seriously. Whatever this foundation is that you're building, somebody's taking you seriously and building some sort of foundation. They see you as stable. They see you as slowing down and making better decisions. I feel like this is a feeling of accomplishment or excitement is what the Ace of Wands is giving me, that this is a new path for you, a new time, a more exciting time financially, it feels like for you. Things are beginning to slow down, so maybe the bills aren't coming at you as quick. It feels like with the Six of Pentacles that something is evening itself out, and we do have stability in the Two of Pentacles, which is, I don't have any more decisions to make at this moment. The Three of Pentacles is the building of some sort of a foundation or stability, right? And it feels like your finances are about to stabilize. And I feel like the Ace of Wands is telling me that this is a new exciting path for you, or that this is something that thrills you, like gives you a thrill. Like I don't have anybody asking for anything anymore. I can actually make ends meet is what it feels like here. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. It was because of a bold decision you made financially, or a bold decision you made about work, or you invested something somewhere. You decided this is the month that I need to get this done. And I feel like this is exactly what's coming to fruition here. You made some sort of a bold decision to plant a seed somewhere, or to invest maybe in yourself, or in getting all of this straightened out. And I think it is paying off here. The Chariot's here. Success, victory. This is discipline, right? This is discipline not only of, maybe it was emotional spending you were going through. I mean, we all go through those things, right? And it feels like this is discipline. This is balance. So I feel like you made a bold move to make some sort of decision. Twos are always decisions, right? To get some sort of stability in your foundation, your financial foundation. And I think that that is what is going to work out for you here. We have the Two of Cups. We have the Five of Swords. And we have the Six of Swords in the reverse. Interesting. The Two of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is in the reverse, and to me that's like, I just can't go anywhere. You know what it feels like? Feeling a little bit stuck and arguing with yourself internally about deepening your commitment to all of this. I feel like it's going to be a period of time now. Maybe you're looking into 2026. It's a period of time now where I'm not going to be able to travel. I'm not going to be able to move. And I think that you feel some kind of way about that. But the Two of Cups tells me the deepening of a connection. And the connection that's here is money. And so, or wealth, or material wealth. And it feels like you're committing to it, deepening your connection with your stability financially. And I feel like you know that you're not going to be able to travel anytime soon. I don't think that makes you happy. You know what? It feels like this is something that you're doing because you have to and not because you want to, because the Five of Swords is here next to the Two of Cups. It feels like it's causing frustration for you, but I feel like there's nothing else that you can do. It feels like I've got to stay put. I've got to stay put for a little while here with the Six of Swords. We do have the Nine of Pentacles, but look, it gets better. Because by doing that, by making a decision, and look, maybe it's only for 6 months. Maybe you just don't go on the next trip. Maybe you're a person who likes to trip, right? Because we do have the Chariot here. Maybe you're a person who likes to travel. But I feel like this is a time to get some stability in your finances. It's time for you to build up the finances, maybe save some money. Stuck in the Nine of Pentacles, maybe you're the only person who is in your life who cares about the finances. I want to say that things get better because the Nine of Pentacles is you doing it yourself and looking pretty good doing it. I feel like you're about to have a glow up in the finances, but it's because you've made some sort of a hard decision here. I feel like you probably are a single person, or you're the only person who takes care of these finances, and it feels like you are building a financial future, but you just need to stop doing some of the things that you were doing. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Seven of Wands, we've got the Knight of Swords, and we have the Nine of Cups. Look, this is just going to lead you to wish fulfillment. By having your boundaries in place with the Seven of Wands and sort of standing up for yourself as it pertains to, this Two of Cups could also be that you're in a relationship where there's going to be arguments and fights because you got to tell your family, look, no more spending. I'm not paying that credit card. Give me your credit cards. Give me your bank cards. Like, you might be the person who has to single-handedly reel everybody in and say, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're not traveling this year. You can't go on that trip. You can't spend on that thing. It feels like here, by putting up some boundaries here, or standing up for yourself, that the Knight of Swords is here. You're going to have to say it in a very short, curt way. Look, no. No, we can't do that. Give me that. And so give me the cards. The Nine of Cups tells me it does lead you to wish fulfillment, but I feel like it's frustrating at this time because you are probably going to have a difference of opinion with people in your life if you are dealing in a family dynamic or a Two of Cups dynamic that is romantic. It feels like you are going to have a hard time convincing someone that this is the right thing to do, because I think you're living with an overspender, somebody who would rather take it out on credit just so they could have fun. And I think that you're like, no, we've got to get things organized. Tell me what is around the corner. We've got, you're getting things organized. You're taking charge of the situation. You're saying, look, sit down, everybody. We need to make peace with the finances here. We need to build a better structure. We need to be more disciplined. And this is not the tradition I want to set for my family or the tradition I want to set for my children. I want to heal this before it gets way out of hand. We've got the Lovers here. It's ultimately going to make your relationship closer. You're going to deepen a connection. It feels like ultimately it's a choice you need to make to get financial wellness. Maybe this is something that has been in your family for years, and now you want to make it different for your children. And the Hierophant tells me you want this to be the set tradition. And so it does feel like somebody here is making a big decision after being in this Hanged Man energy for a while. I feel like it's a matter of you creating financial codependence with people who are depending on you to keep them organized, you to pay their way, you to buy things for them. And this could be a family dynamic. It could be your mom, sister, brother, dad, but it could be like spouse, children, that kind of thing. And the Hanged Man energy is here, right? So you've gotten a perspective, which is a healed perspective. And I feel like you have to make better choices, solid choices, right? The Hierophant standing here, you have to stand on business. Stand up for yourself, even if you've got to be a little bit short with the way things are said. I feel like you have to be very aggressive kind of in the way that you say it. It's going to lead to wish fulfillment, but I feel like you've created some sort of codependency by just you keep saying yes because, well, you're the one that's always in service, right? Yeah, and it's become a heavy thing for you to carry. That's the thing. So the 10 of Wands being here, it does feel like it is a family thing. Look, the 10 of Cups is here. It's going to lead you to 10 of Cups. It's going to lead eventually to the family being happy, but I feel like until then, you got to be the bad guy. That's what it feels like. Maybe you didn't want to be the bad guy. And now you got to be the bad guy, whether you're the feminine or the masculine, whether you're a man or a woman. All right. We've got Pisces. We've got Taurus energy. We've got Capricorn. We've got Gemini. We've got Aquarius. Cancer. More Cancer energy. Taurus. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. This is going to happen in Sagittarius season. More Sagittarius energy. Gemini and Capricorn on the bottom of the deck. And Capricorn is the one that keeps organized, right? Gets everything in order. I think that's what's going on here for you. All right, Libra, your readings have been really, how can I say, Libra? And I mean, all the readings for me are meaningful, but it feels like you're really on some sort of a journey, I'm going to say. You're on some sort of a journey of self lately, and I can feel that in your readings. Making big decisions, big moves. Let's find out what's going on for you, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about the next 7 days for Libra. Whenever you find this, Libra, today, tomorrow, next year. Tell me about Libra. We've got the 5 of Cups, Libra. We've got the 8 of Wands. Things aren't moving fast enough. That's what it looks like. It's like you have a regret that you're not moving quick enough on something here. We've got the Empress. Okay. And we've got the 6 of Cups. I'm going to read this a couple of ways, depending on who you are. You could be the Empress, and not everybody is, right? Because the Empress does have this specific criteria. This is wisdom. So you might be a little bit older, usually kind of in your 40s or and up, right? I mean, you can have it earlier than that, but not many people do. We're still sort of in the trenches in our 30s, so we get a little more wisdom in our 40s. But nonetheless, I feel like this is, it might be about a person, or it could be about abundance. It feels like, for some of you, it feels like something is not moving quick enough. It feels like you feel as though you're not getting your stability quick enough. And that's kind of bothersome for you. It almost feels like the family's watching, or maybe you weren't raised with very good financial health. It could be that. For others of you, I feel like something here is not moving quick enough. And it feels like either somebody's not approaching you quick enough, or you feel like you've held yourself back and not moved quick enough. Look, the Empress is here. And so I'm looking at this as you either being the Empress, or maybe you're not, because not everybody is. Just because you're a Libra doesn't mean you're an Empress, right? Whether you're the man or the woman, feminine or masculine. The 5 of Cups here with the 8 of Wands tells me that somebody has regret that things aren't moving quick enough with an Empress. It might be someone who's outside of you, someone you're very connected to, someone you've known for a while, or you feel like you've known forever. Let's talk about the 5 of Cups. Got the 2 of Cups. Yeah, you know what? It does feel like it's about something that is being felt in the heart space. I feel like you could be the Empress and look at it from your way, or flip it if you need to. But it feels like there is somebody in your space, your heart space, that makes you very happy. This person does feel like a wish fulfillment. It feels like this person just showed up one day, or will show up one day. I could be reading into the future for you. And so it feels like with the Page that this person just happened to show up in your life, And now all of a sudden you feel connected to them emotionally. It feels like you've known them forever. So the Two of Cups is here. This connection keeps deepening, but I feel like there is a bit of a regret that somebody is either holding back or wants it to move quicker and it's not. And the Empress, whether that's you or somebody else, the Empress is not a person who is going to pursue. So the Empress is waiting for something to move a little quicker that's not necessarily moving. And it could be because of apprehension, but we'll read a little bit further. But it feels like somebody here does want this to deepen, but it feels like I'm unsure. 5 and 2 is 7, right? I'm unsure if this person wants me to deepen the connection. The Page being here, it feels like you never expected to meet this person, or you won't expect to meet this person. They're just going to show up in your view, and you're going to feel like you've known them forever. And it's like okay, I'm aging myself, but those of you who grew up without cell phones, and then all of a sudden the cell phone came along, and now you can't imagine your life without a cell phone. I'm not talking cell phones, I'm talking people. And it feels like you didn't know that you needed this, but this showed up in your life, and now things are deepening, and it's like, now I didn't know I needed it, and I don't know how to move quicker. I want to say if you are the person who is wanting to move toward the Empress, it feels like you're overthinking it, and you're moving really slow because you're way too analytical and doing it head over heart. You're not in your emotions yet. And so you're scared of all of this big emotions, right? Because water, 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 and water and air are very different, right? One's in the air, one's in the ground. And so it feels like there is happiness that you didn't expect, and all of a sudden things are deepening, and it's deepening quick, and you don't know what to do with it. We've got the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. I didn't ask for this. The Hanged Man is here. And the Tower. Look, I feel like the 8 of Pentacles is in the reverse because you don't know what to make of it. I feel like the 8 of Pentacles being in the reverse is, do I want to put any more energy or time or effort into this? Do I want to work on this? I feel like you're trying to get a perspective. Because everything, you know what, it feels like you're hanging on for dear life to the tree of life, because everything is about to shift, and it almost feels like it's out of your control. The 8 of Pentacles in the upright is about looking over all the details. I'm the subject matter expert. I've got all of the details, the practical movements. I know what's coming up. I can anticipate it because I'm in control of it. And the Tower is out of control. So it feels like the perspective is, I didn't really ask for this, but now that it's here, now I'm trying to look at it, but I'm trying to stop things in my life from shifting. I think it's a worry that you will be out of balance if you decide that you do want to pursue or want to put work into this. But it feels like there is a perspective, or you're like, okay, well, what's the catch? What do I have to give up in order to have this? But I want to say that the Tower is inevitable, and so is the Hanged Man energy. There is a pause here, but it's a pause before the Tower, because everything is about to shift here. Something is about to shift. Tell me what this is. Oh boy. Yikes. The Lovers is here. Look, I think this is inevitable. Whether you are the Empress or somebody else is, I think it's inevitable that you have met a soulmate, or will be meeting a soulmate. And this person, if they are not in your life right now, it feels like they just show up out of nowhere and they make you incredibly happy. But it does feel like it moves like at a snail's pace. And that's okay. But I feel like you're either frustrated with that or they are. But it feels like that everything is shifting here, because I feel like you have met someone, you've met your match, or you've met someone who mirrors your energy. It's like you think about this. This is your daydream while you're in this dreamy Piscean energy. And when you, whatever you think about, you'll bring about, right? So the Tower, I feel, is what you're bringing about. 9 of Wands, Knight of Cups is in the reverse, and the 2 of Pentacles is in the reverse. You haven't yet made the decision about how you feel about the situation, but you're about to, because the 9 of Wands is here. And that's why the Tower is standing on standby, friend, because this is about to go down If you haven't met them, you'll meet them in the future. If you've already met them and this thing has been dragging itself along, I feel like things are about to pick up. Tell me, what is the outcome? We've got the Four of Cups. We've got the Star. But I was hoping to stay in my comfort zone. Can't I stay in my comfort zone, Elsie? Can't it come to me? It feels like the Star and the Four of Cups here is the hope of staying in the comfort zone. But the truth of the matter is you got to take charge. So I don't know if you're the Empress or the Emperor, but you can take your side, right? Masculine or feminine. If you're the Emperor, you're the one who intends on pursuing. If you're the Empress, you're the one that's waiting. And it feels like the Empress is the one who is frustrated that the Emperor is taking their time. So I feel like with the Emperor energy, though, that the Emperor is hopeful that when I do finally get to the Empress is going to want this, right? Now, look, the Emperor is going to take their time, and that's a really healthy masculine energy. Somebody who will circle for a while, get to know you, circle back, and it could take a very long time, right? This might happen in January. The Star is here, and that's Aquarius. This could happen at the very end of December, beginning of January, right? It feels like it could happen in the new year, but it feels like that this person has been circling you for a while, and they are noticing you. If you were the Empress, right? If you are the Emperor, that you have been watching the Empress, possibly. Tell me what's around the corner here. That's why it's taking so long, because we're involving an Emperor, and the Emperor never goes in unless they're absolutely sure. We have the Six of Wands. You're about to get a lot of attention if you're the Empress. We've got the Magician. If you're the Emperor, you're about to give a lot of attention. Create a kerfuffle. Creating attention. Ooh. Somebody's about to start romancing you. If you're the Empress, the Emperor is about to romance you. If you're the Emperor, I do believe that you are going to make this decision, because I don't think you can ignore it. There's too many cups here. The Ace of Cups, the Five of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Two of Cups. I feel like the Emperor's intention is to deepen this connection. Somebody here is giving a lot of energy, giving a lot of attention, with the hopes of getting victory. But the Magician is here. Somebody's creating the heart space, creating the right opportunity for things to work out. I was saying somebody's watching you. I felt it here. Somebody's watching you. Page of Swords. Somebody's about to make a bold move. So, like I said, if you're the Empress, the Emperor is about to make the bold move. If you're the Emperor, the one who is going to pursue the Empress, because the Empress is not going to pursue you, I feel like you're the one that's ready to make the big bold move. Oh, look at that. Justice. There's your card. Yeah, so it might be you who's making the big bold move. All right, so let's find out what's going on. We have Capricorn energy, Pisces. We've got, yes, Pisces. We've got Scorpio, more Pisces. It's a very dreamy energy. Somebody's daydreaming. We've got Aries. We've got Leo. We've got more Pisces. Look, lots. We've got Libra and Taurus. We've got Aquarius energy. And we've got Leo. Somebody here is in their comfort zone and wants to stay there. But we've got a lot of cups. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. All right. All right, Scorpio. Let's find out what's going on for you, Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Scorpio. Tell me about Scorpio for the next 7 days. We have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. All right. Just making sure things aren't upside down. Four of Pentacles in the reverse is vulnerability. Feels like you're ready to give a little. Give a little energy, give a little time, give a little effort. We have the Hermit energy. It feels like you have been quietly thinking about something, trying to determine if it's safe to be vulnerable. The Hermit energy is somebody who's trying to find their spiritual light. And it feels like you have possibly maybe you're still in, but possibly in the dark night of the soul energy. And I think that it was making it hard in the past for you, Scorpio, to be vulnerable. But I feel like you might be ready to put a little bit of energy, to make conversation. So it feels like somebody you're not talking to or somebody you weren't talking to is somebody who I feel you're about to make honest conversation with. I think this is the way you're going to be vulnerable, making vulnerable conversation. I feel like you've been ignoring this person or just not talking to them, possibly avoiding them. This person, I'm seeing their back here as they're walking away. You could possibly be in hermit energy because you've been ignoring them, possibly. We have the Judgment card. Okay, so a rebirth, right? Yeah, this is very different for you. You're doing the 180 here, but I feel like you're listening to the universe because the Judgment card is Major Arcana as well as the Hermit. And I feel like this is a decision, a really big decision that you're making, that you're going to be giving someone a little more conversation, communication possibly, because of a big decision that you're making. It feels like you have been quietly watching, maybe going over details about what to say. We've got the Ace of Pentacles here. It feels like you've been trying to determine whether this person is worth your time or your effort. That's what it feels like here. And we've got the Four of Swords. Oh, it could very well be just you saying, am I healed enough? Do I really want to make an offer of being vulnerable? Because am I healed enough? Have I spent enough time in hermit energy? Healing? We've got the Two of Swords. It's a decision that you need to make. I really do feel that your decision is to move forward here because the Four of Swords and the Two of Swords is 6. So it does make me feel like you are going to offer some sort of an investment. Look, this could be an investment in friendship. This could be an investment otherwise, right? It could be financial, could be at work. But it feels like whatever it is, it requires vulnerability. It requires you to make conversation. It requires you to be honest about yourself and reveal things about yourself. That's how you get people to invest in you. So I feel like with the Two of Swords here that this is a really hard decision. This is something you're trying to let your intuitive energy tell you. What do I do? Am I healed enough inwardly that I can be vulnerable with someone and have a conversation in vulnerability? I feel like it's a big decision for you. But I also feel like this is an awakening. That if I'm not vulnerable, I'm never going to get closer to this person. I don't know if that's platonic or romantic. I'm never going to get closer if I am not vulnerable with this person. The Nine of Pentacles is here. We have the Six of Pentacles. And we have the Nine of Wands. Look, I feel like it's somebody who's trying to find the confidence to give reciprocal energy, but knowing I have to be vulnerable with my conversation and get to know somebody or let them get to know me is what terrifies me. Because the Nine of Wands is here. And I feel like you've been hurt so many times that you're just exhausted with the whole process of meeting someone new, making the decision to be vulnerable, sharing parts of you that are honest. And it's much easier to stay in hermit energy. Absolutely, Scorpio. You're my jam. You know that. I'm a Taurus. I feel the same way. It's so much easier for me to just keep it to myself. But you're wondering, have I healed enough? Like have I healed enough that I can be vulnerable in my conversations? I feel like it's you're dealing with old wounds still. You don't have to be all the way healed before you become vulnerable with people, and it could be pentacle relationships, right? We've got Swords and Pentacles. I don't see any cups here, right? We've got Swords and Pentacles. It feels like a practical relationship, maybe even a friendship or a some sort of a group of people. We've got the Ten of Pentacles, because I feel like you really do want to make long-term gains. You want to have long-term friendships. maybe something here turns into something more than friendship. Maybe it turns into a long-term relationship. But I feel like right now, I could be talking to someone who's single, but the Nine of Pentacles isn't always about single. It's about building yourself. Building yourself. You don't need any external validation. It feels like I'm confident. Am I confident enough to be able to give reciprocal energy to someone else, even though I'm still unsteady on my feet because I'm still in the Nine of Wands energy, which is this place where I'm still fed up with humans. It feels like somebody hurt you really, hurt you a lot. And I feel like you want to have long-term connections, but it's hard, right? Tell me what the outcome is, please, for Scorpio. We've got the King of Wands. We've got the Five of Swords. And we've got the Seven of Wands. So that's what it is. It's your inability to be flexible. I think that you tend to surround yourself with people who believe the same things that you do. It's hard for you to allow other people to have their own points of view and just be okay to agree to disagree. It feels like with the King of Wands that you have a lot of wisdom. I'm going to say the wisdom came from the Nine of Wands. It feels like you've been hurt a lot, but I also feel like that's why you haven't been pursuing friendships or relationships. It feels like you've just sort of been keeping to yourself. The King of Wands tells me I'm ready to pursue, but the Five of Swords is telling me I always seem to bump into people who have fundamental differences with me. And I'm not interested. I'm not interested in fighting. I'm not interested in having to draw boundaries. I feel like the Seven of Wands tells me, though, you got to be flexible. You've got to be flexible. Let them be who they are. And if you have to draw a boundary, you draw a boundary. It's part of human relationships. And sometimes that just seems too hard to do. Tell me, because you don't want to be hurt again, because I feel like you're coming out of something that really, really hurt you, or you still have scars or wounds from past relationships of giving reciprocal energy and long-term things, and it didn't work out for you because the Nine of Pentacles is here. You ended up single, or you ended up having to rebuild, right? So what's around the corner for Scorpio? We've got the Five of Pentacles. We've got the Two of Pentacles. We've got the Six of Swords. It's your decision, friend. That's what it says here. The Five of Pentacles is where you're at right now, but the Two of Pentacles is a decision, and the Six of Swords is telling me, do you want to stay in the chaos where you are, or do you want to move forward to the calm? Maybe that's a perspective as well. Like maybe to you, being in hermit mode is the calm, right? Maybe it is too chaotic to make a decision to not be on the outside. So it feels like you're disconnected, but I'm going to say with the Seven of Pentacles here, it feels like you are waiting for the right time to move forward is what it feels like here, because we have 5 and 2. We have the Eight of Cups. So I feel like that's the part of it right now. I feel like you're not willing to settle, and you don't have to. You're not willing to settle, and if you don't like the relationship, you can always move on. And so that's what the Six of Swords is telling you. You don't have to hang out any longer than you need to. I feel like in this hermit energy, you've gotten divine wisdom. And so the Ace of Wands tells me, I think you're ready. You're ready for excitement. You're ready for fun. You're ready for creative new opportunities with people. But the Seven of Cups tells me that you're still confused, that it could be illusion, right? Is it an illusion that I'm ready? I don't know if you're ready. Feels like with the Hanged Man here, you're trying to get perspective. The Ace of Swords. So you will get your answer, friend, right? The Ace of Swords is about the clarity or the aha moment, or having the realization that, yes, I do want these contracts, right? The Hanged Man is here. I don't know if we're talking about something romantic or platonic, but it feels like with the Hanged Man being here, that you're using the sword to cut yourself out of the tree, that you're tired of being in the pause. You're tired of looking at it with perspective. You looked at it all ways, and I feel like you're going to get some sort of realization that if I move slow, Page of Pentacles, that hopefully I don't hit a tower. But the Three of Wands is here. So I'm going to say that it's inevitable that in the future there is a tower. But the tower is the pulling down of an illusion. But I think as long as you move slowly, practically, toward the tower, there's no need for you to stop. You can keep going, but it feels like The Three of Wands is telling me that in the future, you could meet an Empress. I'm just saying. Or you could step into the Empress energy. Take it as it resonates for you. All right. Let's see what we've got here. It could be an Empress that you're wanting to make communication with. Whether they're a feminine or a masculine Empress, it feels like I don't really know how to approach this person because I'm not good at being vulnerable. We've got Pisces. We've got Taurus energy, Sagittarian. We've got more Pisces energy. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are here. Virgo and Pisces, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Five of Swords. And we've got Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. That's what we have here. All right, Sagittarius, the birthday babies. Please let me know when your birthday is. I want to celebrate you, make a big kerfuffle. I know you love it. Tell me about Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. The next 7 days for the birthday babies. My fire family, let's find out what's going on for you. Tell me about Sagittarius. It's coming up in the future for Sag. We do have the Seven of Wands. We have the Two of Wands, but it's in the reverse with the Death card. Oh, very interesting. And we have the Three of Cups. It feels like something, it's like a turn of events is what it feels like here. The Two of Wands, well, first of all, let's look at the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is your boundaries, right? It's your boundaries, but it's also protecting yourself. Because I feel, the thing is that, you know, the thing about having armor on is that, when you put armor on, that nothing gets in, but also nothing gets out. And I feel like the Seven of Wands is where you've been for a while. It feels like you've been standing away from the crowd, Sag, is what it feels like. But I feel like you're about to jump in. Like the Two of Wands in the reverse for me is I don't need a plan. I've already got the plan. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to jump in. The Death card is here. When you do jump in, when you do become more vulnerable, when you do jump in or you remove these hard boundaries that you've created here and become more flexible, it looks like this Death card energy here. It tells me that everything changes, that there is some sort of a transformation showing up. But look at this here. It only changes if you decide to jump in. Look where it's pointing. It looks like the Death card is pointing at the Two of Wands. So I feel like the only way for things to change is for you to jump in. I feel like you have to make a move here. We've got 7 and 2 is 9 wands, and it feels like you've been hurt before, and that's why you don't want to jump in. But it feels like everything changes to the 3 of cups. You start to celebrate. There's more happiness. You maybe you're thinking about, do I really need this group of people? Should I get back into another soulmate tribe? But it also could be a one-on-one relationship. Tell me about the 7 of wands. We've got the 10 of cups showing up here. The 6 of Pentacles. You got to let somebody in here, Sag. I think that's been the hard part for you here. That you're worried that if you let this person in, that's it for you. Everything's going to change. And I think you're right. I think everything's going to change, but I think it changes for the better. Because the 3 of Cups is here, and that's joy, that's celebration, togetherness, and happiness. The 10 of Cups is here, and so I feel like you're worried, right? With the 9 of Swords here, it feels like a nightmare. I'm going to say it feels the nightmare for you would be you trying to give reciprocal energy, 6 of Pentacles, to someone, opening your heart space, and then that person shuts you down by putting up their boundary. I think that's sort of the nightmare, I'm going to say. But I'm going to say that when you jump in, everything changes. When you decide that you want to move forward, everything changes because death is here. It'll be the death of being stuck behind those boundaries by yourself. Got the two of Swords here is telling me it's a hard decision to make. Really hard. We've got the Six of good. Oh, because I remember what happened in the past. I feel like you're protecting yourself because I remember what happened in the past. We've got the list here. This is a holiday deck. It's called the Yuletide Tarot. And the list is here. And it feels like you're trying to make a decision about something or someone. But I feel like your block, the Two of Swords, is the Six of Cups. Because I'm thinking about the past and how that was a shit show. Everything went to crap. I feel like this is a changed time, though. It feels like everything is about to transform. And the Six of Cups is telling me, yeah, you're remembering the past. And that's why you're blocked. But I feel like there is a new time coming here. It's about a really big decision that you need to make, even though you know better. I'm just saying you know better because we've got the Six of Cups here. It feels like you're thinking about what happened in the past, but just because it happened in the past, it doesn't mean it will happen in the future. As long as you have evolved and you see things differently, then there's no reason why you should have a repeat because you're not always doing the things you always did, so you won't get the result you always got. So the list here tells me you're about to make a really big decision about doing the 180 here, turning things around, making a decision that's really, really hard, but I feel like it transforms you. The whole situation doesn't only transform you, but it transforms everything. We've got the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So I don't know that you've necessarily made the decision to do it yet. This is not yet materialized. This is something we're talking about in the future. And it feels like you're not really sure at this point about how much energy, effort, or time you want to put into a new connection. It does feel like a new connection, and that's why you're very nervous. Nothing really has materialized. I'll say that you're noticing someone, that maybe you're thinking that maybe they're noticing you, but you haven't yet made the decision to make something materialize. You haven't yet made this big decision with the list being here. Or the Judgment card, right? The Judgment card is saying you need to birth yourself into a new cycle. If you want things to change, the Death card is here. Transformation is coming at you. What you do with the change is up to you. But when the major arcana show up, the Judgment card and the Death card, when the major arcana show up, they're showing up. Like how you react or respond is up to you. So I feel like something is on the precipice of change or transformation. But it does feel like this is going to be something that's hard for you to materialize or to, if you're the one that's pursuing, to make clear to somebody. But I feel like it ends up being a lot of fun, a lot of happiness, and a lot of joy. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Sun. Look at that. The 10 of Wands is here, and so is the 8 of Swords. So here we go, right? So we've got the 8 of Swords. That's being stuck in the mind. It's the place where you put yourself, right? And we've got the 10 of Wands here. You've been carrying this around. I feel like you're having a hard time making a decision about what to do. It feels like you're in this place where you feel like your hands are tied, trying to listen to your intuition, but I know I've chosen wrong before. But this time, see, I'm saying it's different this time. Why? Because the Sun is here. There isn't anything that you're going to miss. Even when it's cold, look at this winter, even when it's cold and wintry, look, I live in a place where it's cold and wintry a lot, you can still have fun in the sun. You can. You just have to change your perspective about what fun looks like. So I feel like you're going to be able to have fun here, but I feel like you got to stop carrying this around. You got to stop carrying around this energy of, I'm making the wrong decision. I'm making the wrong decision. We've got the Fool. Look at that. This child is watching for Santa, right? Looking at the fireplace. And so, should I light the fireplace? Should I not? Waiting with a gift. I feel like you want to go all in, but you're in a pause. There it is, right? I feel like you want to take the leap, but you're in a pause. The King of Swords is here because you might have an air placement. You could have an air placement, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, and you're being very logical. The Ace of Swords is here. I feel like you're being very logical about love, and the two don't really ever meet. do they? It does feel like you feel like whatever is being given to you could just be pulled away at any moment. There's a hand there ready to snatch away this mistletoe. We've got a lot of air energy here. We've got the King of Swords, we've got the Ace of Swords, and we've got the mistletoe, which is Gemini. Oh, look, and the Knight of Swords is here. You're really in your head about the Queen of Cups. There is somebody here who's lovely, kind, compassionate, whether they're feminine or masculine. But I feel like you're in a pause before you take this leap, because you're like, logically, this doesn't make any sound sense to me. I've gone over the facts. The facts are I have memories of being hurt in the past, and I feel like that's the block. Tell me what's around the corner for Sagittarius, please. We've got the Magician. We've got the Emperor. And we have the Six of Swords. Look, you could be the Emperor. If you are the Emperor, whether you're a man or a woman, you're in your masculine energy and you're ready to pursue something here. It feels like with the Magician here, you're ready to create movement by pursuing something. So you've got all the skills, you've got all the resources you need. It feels like, you know, the Emperor never goes in until they have all the details, because I'm not going in to lose. And then the Six of Swords is the movement. So it feels like the Emperor is going to make movement, or is going to create movement here. And so if you are the one who is pursuing, then I feel like you're on the edge of pursuing something. You could be the one who's being pursued. And if that is true, then I'm just going to say that the Emperor is here. The Emperor is about ready to make a decision to pursue, and it's right on the edge. Right on the edge, friend. We've got the Page of Cups. Look, I can't write that stuff. The Page of Cups is a new relationship. Happiness is showing up. The good news is showing up, and you're going to be surprised. So if you are the Emperor, I feel like you wake up one day and say, okay, this is the day I'm going in. I'm jumping in head first. I think I've got enough information. It's time to change everything to happiness and joy. And if you are the person who's being pursued, just know it's going to be a shock. It's going to be a surprise for you. The Ace of Cups is here, or sorry, the Ace of Wands is here, and somebody's about to shed some light on the subject, and it's going to be exciting. This is an exciting new time that is beginning for you, and we've got, there's your card, Sagittarius. Balance in this deck is Temperance. So definitely, you're going to be enlightened in the next 7 days. It feels like here with the Knight of Swords, somebody here is about to get really aggressive with their emotions. They're about to just speak it out. They're just going to blurt it out and say it. You're going to be in a situation. Oh, look, the Ace of Cups is here. The Heart Space is here. This person, I feel, is planning. Queen of Pentacles is under the deck, is planning to say something, and they've been planning for a while. But the Emperor just never goes in until they're sure. We've got Cancer energy. We've got Aries and Gemini. We've got Virgo and Pisces. We've got Aries and Gemini. We've got Pisces energy. We've got Sagittarius energy, Leo, Scorpio. All right. Very interesting. Let's look at Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Capricorn. Tell me about Capricorn for the next 7 days, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. The next 7 days for Capricorn. Tell me about Capricorn. We've got the Ace of Wands. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. We've got the King of Pentacles. And the Fool. Look, something is showing up that you've been hoping for. I want to say that you've been putting a lot of work into something, and that something is about to pay off. I'm going to say that you've been waiting for a really long time for this thing to pay off. And you're in your head here bottom of the deck, still in the future, right? So it might not happen right away, but for some of you, it looks like you've been keeping your head down and working really hard. It feels like you've been putting a lot of time and effort into something, and you've been waiting, putting more time and effort. Lift your head up. Is it here yet? No, it's not. Put your head down. Time and effort in whatever you've been putting all of your work into. Because when the 7 is here, the 7 of Pentacles is about throwing your seeds of intention and then working on it, right? Doing all the hard work, nurturing, pruning, right? All of that stuff. But when the 1 Pentacle shows up with the King, it's harvest. And I love that because it feels like it's a financial harvest, or maybe this is a job for you, but it is something new. It's a new investment, an investment in you, or an investment that you made back there. And it might be of time, effort. It could be waiting. I'm patient. I'm waiting. But something really exciting is about to show up here. Capricorn, tell me what this is. Tell me about the Ace of Wands. We've got the 5 of Swords in the reverse. Something is coming back together after being apart. The 8 of Swords is here. And we've got the 5, not the 5, but the King of Cups. Capricorn, I think there is something that has been hiding under the surface here that I feel you thought was never going to come to fruition. Somebody here has been hiding their feelings. It feels like they've been hiding their feelings or have been keeping their feelings locked away. It feels like an emotional jail is what it feels like. I'm just looking at the person who looks like could definitely be talking about someone who's incarcerated, but it feels like an emotional jail of the mind is what it feels like. But the 5 of Swords in the reverse is kind of interesting because it's like, I don't want to hold a grudge. I just want things to come back together. I'm ready to be reasonable. I just don't want to have this thing weighing on me, overthinking it and exhausting me emotionally. So it does feel like something exciting is about to happen because the Fool is always exhilaration. I'm ready to jump in. The King of Pentacles is here. It's very valuable. It might be a material thing. It could be good health. You could be getting good news about health, but it feels like you're ready to jump in. Somebody here is about to make a big, bold move who has constantly had to be resilient in their life, resilient in love possibly, or relationships. It doesn't always have to be romantic, but the 2 of Cups is your exchange of energy with someone and deepening a connection. So it does feel like somebody here has been feeling like they needed to keep their feelings under the surface. They felt like they were in an emotional prison, but somebody here wants to bring things back together. I don't want to hold a grudge any longer. It feels like it is some sort of a reconciliation, but I think you value it. So it feels like a valuable time of taking a leap after working really hard and putting a lot of effort and time into something that it's now time to harvest is what it feels like here. So if you've been apart from somebody, whether they are a friend or a member of the family or somebody that you dated once or somebody that you feel that there's been silence between you, if you guys started off and then all of a sudden it just dropped off, it could be that it's coming back together again. The 7 of Cups is here. The Queen of Cups is here. Oh, somebody walked away and rejected the other one. You can decide who that is, but it feels like this 7 of Cups here. It tells me here it might have been a water sign. It might have been a Scorpio, a Pisces, a Cancer, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, possibly an Aries. But it does feel like somebody here was unsure about their feelings or how to feel about something. You can just see the depiction here on this particular card. She got the 2 of Cups, looking up at the 5. Is this going to be something I'm going to regret? It feels like somebody here is about to bring their feelings to the surface because I don't think they can stop thinking about you. Feels like with the Queen and the King of Water here that we are connected psychically, emotionally, empathically. And even though there has been some sort of rejection, it feels like somebody rejected the other one's cup. It feels like something here is about to come back together again. We've been apart. Somebody put the other one on the outside looking in order to be happy. It feels like this wasn't, I'm just going to say, it feels like this wasn't a happy union when you were in it. So whether it's romantic or friendship, it feels like whatever happened ended up in the Five of Swords. But now that the Five of Swords is in the reverse, it's like, I don't want to be stuck in my head with this resentment. I just want to figure it out. It feels like you value trying this or jumping in. We've got the Three of Swords, but you're not going to forget the heartbreak, and you shouldn't. I always say, forgive and forget is a lot of bullshit. Forgive, yes, then tattoo it on the inside of your eyeballs and never forget that stuff, because if you forget it, you will repeat the cycle. No forgetting, people. No forgetting, Capricorn. But you can definitely forgive, because forgiveness is always for you, right? Forgiveness is so you don't have to walk around like this, stuck in a place emotionally that you don't want to be. So the Three of Swords is that I'm remembering that this wasn't necessarily all butterflies and rainbows, and that I was rejected, or somebody rejected my emotions, my compassion, my love and kindness. And so I'm not really sure if I want to give this another shot, because somebody here in the Seven of Cups is wondering if this is an illusion. Is the Two of Cups an illusion? Tell me what the outcome is here for Capricorn. We have the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Page of Wands, and we have the Page of Pentacles. I feel like you're going to get a chance to speak with this person. Whoever they are to you, it feels like somebody is going to probably communicate with you, or you're thinking of reaching out to someone, but the Page of Pentacles is here, which tells me we're making it real. We're making it real. It's not just something we're going to do in text. We're going to end up meeting somewhere for coffee. This is something that I really want to work on. Like I said, it's something of value. You valued this friendship. You valued the connection. Whatever it was, it's something of value. And you've been working a long time, or waiting and being patient for something to change. And finally, something is changing here. And you see the value in beginning a new chapter with somebody here. Tell me what is around the corner, please, for Capricorn. We have the Empress. We have the Three of Cups. Oh my gosh. Okay. The Emperor and the Empress are both here. So this is reconciliation, friends. I'm going to say, and I mean, you're going to feel how you're going to feel, and you're allowed to feel whatever way you're going to feel, right? But I'm just going to say, I feel like this is two people coming back together who have learned a lot of lessons. You can never be the Emperor or the Empress without wisdom. And you have to go through many life cycles in order to get the wisdom. You have to learn about the kings. You have to learn about the queens. All of them bring wisdom, and all of them have mastered something. It feels like two people parted, and it could be for years. Look at all these pentacles. It could be for 8 years, right? We've got 8 here, but we've got 8 here as well. It could be a very long time that two people were apart, but I really feel like this was a time that you had to be apart in order to grow, in order to come back together. And I always tell you, the Tower is just that. The Tower is something that pulls it all to the ground. It falls apart so it can fall back together at the right time. And sometimes we have to part because we don't know enough. All we have is a heart space for each other, and that's all we have. We mirror each other's emotions. But we had to come to this place where we could stand on our own 2 feet in order to come back together, because in the middle of the Emperor and the Empress is the Three of Cups. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. It doesn't mean that you have to know this person. Please understand that. This could be somebody new. It could be somebody new, but it could be that maybe you've been single for a very long time because you had to grow. You needed lessons before you could find the right relationship with someone who has just had as much wisdom as you, someone who is stable and sturdy and independent of you. So maybe here we were blurring the lines in the water, right? You can't really make a line in the water. And here we are standing as 2 separate entities here. So it could be that you needed wisdom before you could meet the right one. Could be a new person. The Ace of Pentacles is here, right? But it also could be someone that you know. So you can take that as it resonates for you, my friend. We do have Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Aries. More Aries. Cancer energy. We have Taurus and Libra. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Yeah. Sagittarius. Could happen in Sagittarius season. All right, Aquarius, here we go. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. How are you, Aquarius? Smarty pantses. You guys know that you're the genius of the Zodiac, right? You're also the least, if you're an Aquarius Sun, you have the most rare placement. That's for a reason. Y'all would take us all over. There'd be a world domination. Tell me about Aquarius in the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. We've got the 9 of Wands. We've got the 4 of Wands in the reverse. We've got the Devil energy. And we've got the Fool in reverse. Whew. The Fool in reverse is taking a leap without looking. Am I going to be a fool if I do this? I think you are breaking away. There feels like, here it feels like there is something that binds you to another. It feels like codependency. Somebody depends on you. The 4 of Wands in the reverse, right? Like the 9 of Wands is giving me burnout. It's giving me this place of, I just can't take anymore. I just can't take much more. There's 8 Wands in the back, and this person is holding the Ace of Wands, but also sitting up against a tree, which indicates that there was probably some sort of a sturdy, stable thing here. And I have to depart from that or leave that. The 8 of Wands being here tells me that something moved really quickly. But the Ace of Wands is a new beginning. So it feels like there was something that was maybe earthly grounded. Maybe you're just resting because you're exhausted. Yeah, it feels like exhaustion. But the 4 of Wands is in the reverse. So this is something that's not making you happy. It's like the celebration is over. I'm exhausted, the celebration is over, and the Devil energy being here tells me that there is someone who is codependently attached to you, or maybe you were the one that was paying for everything. I think I've said that to you before. 4 of Wands in the reverse is a broken home. Maybe you're moving. Maybe you're leaving something behind. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're leaving a person behind, but maybe you're selling a home, right? Maybe you're moving or leaving. I feel like this is a decision that you make quickly, but it's based on something that happened that exhausted you. So it feels like exhaustion, and it feels like I just don't want to do this thing anymore. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. Tell me about the 9 of Wands. We've got the Ace of Swords. So you've had some sort of clarity or an aha moment here. It's a moment of clarity, realization that I need to take a shot in a different direction here. 6 of Pentacles. I just heard Charlie, my guide, say, steady as she goes when I pulled the 6 of Pentacles. So I feel like you're supposed to make a decision, which I feel, yeah, all things are pointing to you do it like that. All things are pointing to, look, the Fool is in the reverse. When the Fool is in the reverse, it's like you could end up looking a fool. But I feel like you need to pull away from something that is attached to you. It's like an expectation or a toxic group of people. It's become an expectation. The clarity that you've got is that you're exhausted because you keep giving, but maybe you're not getting anything back. I'm just saying that because the 4 of Wands is in the reverse and the Devil's here. And it feels attached to the 9 of Wands, which is attached to the 6 of Pentacles. So it does feel like that it's clear to you that reciprocal energy is off. It's lopsided, that you're giving more than you're getting. I think you're coming to a realization, and it's heartbreaking. The 2 of Swords is here with the Ace of Swords. The 2 of Swords is telling me I need to make this decision, but I'm making it blind. It almost feels like, it's like I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to go, taking a shot in the dark, I'm just going to go, maybe you leave at night. I'm just saying. Tell me about this Fool in the reverse with the Two of Swords, because these two here, they give me a little bit of, I'm taking a risk by doing this. Because look, unless you're a really good shot, the eyes are covered, right? I feel like you're using your intuition. Your intuition is telling you to go because you're exhausted. You're exhausted with giving reciprocal energy to someone who's not giving it to you. We've got the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. The Star is here. That's your energy. And the King of Pentacles is here. It feels like it's time for you to regroup or heal the finances. I feel like with this, yeah, it does feel like a vulnerability hangover. The Four of Pentacles being in the reverse is like you're releasing something. You're no longer holding on to it really tight. It could be a thought pattern, but I feel like you're making a decision because I feel like you were holding on to something really tightly and it wasn't working for you. It feels like you were holding on to something that wasn't holding on to you. Like you were, oh, okay, in my mind's eye, I'm seeing somebody hanging off a cliff on a rope and somebody's hanging on to you. So it feels like you were the one who was putting in all the effort. I think it's time to let go. And I think that you're hopeful that you're not creating an obstacle for yourself. You're hoping that this is going to give you more foundation, more stability, more material wealth. I feel like you know that there's going to be obstacles in the distance, but I feel like you're navigating financial things. It almost feels like somebody is like, I don't want to do this anymore. The path is done. It's too exhausting. I keep giving and I'm getting nothing in return. Yeah, something is over here. The Death card could also mean that you're losing hope or that you have decided no more hope. I mean that the Star can also be wish fulfillment, right? So it could be that this is not my wish fulfillment. I need to move along. We've got the King of Pentacles in the boat. And so we're moving along, even though I know I'm going to have to navigate financial things. I'm going to have to navigate. I'm just looking at this mountain in the background here. It looks like I got to navigate around these really sketchy, going through these tiny canals and stuff like that. It might be hard to navigate, but I feel like this isn't my wish fulfillment. I just need to move along. I need to let go because things aren't working out. And I feel like it's almost like you make the decision overnight to go. I feel like you feel stuck or that somebody expected something of you or it was codependency is what it feels like. And I don't think you want someone hanging on you. This person, I don't think they can keep up with you intellectually. I'm just going to say with the Six of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, it feels to me that the reason that you're leaving is because someone can't keep up with you. They're not giving you as much intellectually as you're giving out. Tell me what the outcome is here. We've got the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, I think for the longest time, maybe you held back or you waited because you weren't really confident that you were making the right decision. You were waiting for your wisdom to kick in. The King of Wands is here, and I feel like you were like, is it just because I want to go? Is it just because this Aries energy is propelling me forward, like I have to go? But I don't think that's it, because I feel like you waited an ample amount of time to see if this whole thing was going to pan out. But honestly, with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like you took a hit financially, or I feel like you need to go, like it feels like back home. You need to go back home to regroup, grow your finances, save your money. You need to let go of something, whether it's like we got Pentacles, so maybe it's property, maybe it's a home, right? It feels like something was draining your finances or hanging on you. It's time to let go of it because the Four of Pentacles is in the reverse. Tell me what is around the corner. We've got the Four of Swords. It's in order to give mental stability for you. That's what it is. I think that you argued with yourself about what to do here, but I feel like you just need clarity of the mind. Yeah, I don't think you're worried about starting again. The clarity that has come to you, I feel, is I need to get on my way. Oh, God. What is that song? Hang on. I know what it is. Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm hearing two things. First of all, I'm hearing WKRP in Cincinnati, so maybe you live in Cincinnati, or maybe you're going there. But the second thing I'm hearing is, do you remember that show with the dog? Look, if you're my age, you know what I'm talking about. There was the German Shepherd. That dog was always like, it would show up and then it would help a child, and Timmy was stuck in the well, and oh God, what is the name of that show? Anyway, The Littlest Hobo. That's what it is. That's the theme I'm hearing from The Littlest Hobo, because The Littlest Hobo was always on their way, like from place to place. It feels like you're a person who doesn't really stay someplace very long, and it feels like with the Knight of Pentacles, you're looking at the map again and saying, well, I guess I'm on my way. I'm making a brand new start once again, making a decision to get some stability by moving on. Charlie's so silly. Charlie is my guide, by the way. All right. I've got the Knight of Cups. I feel like it's a strategic move for you. It's a strategic move for you, and it is something that you did passively. I'm going to say that you waited an ample amount of time. I don't think you're cutting out on anything or anyone, but I think that after deliberation, it feels like, because the Pentacles take a while. The Knight of Cups is doing it strategically because all the pieces are here, right? Playing. It felt like a one-sided game of chess, and I really do feel like wherever you were not being stimulated intellectually enough to be able to stay. And I feel like, yeah, after thinking about it for a while, that's what you decided. It's time to go find a new group of people or build a new foundation. Three of Pentacles. All right. Weirdest songs. Okay. We've got Pisces, we've got Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Virgo, Aquarius, Aries, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Aries energy. All right, here we go. Pisces, the water family. Two fishes friends. Let's find out what's going on for you in the next 7 days. How are you, Pisces? I hope you're well. Let's find out what's going on for Pisces. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Pisces, please. Tell me about Pisces. We've got the Seven of Wands. We've got the Six of Wands. We've got the Six of Swords. And the Sun. It's a realization that you've got to go, Pisces. You've got to move. There's got to be movement. I need things to be calmer. I'm looking at the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is giving the energy of, I don't want to have to be in a place where I got to watch my back all the time. I don't want to be there anymore. It's too chaotic, where I have to fight for attention, fight for time, fight for energy. I'm tired of having to keep the boundaries up constantly. It feels like wherever you're leaving from is a place of chaos, where you had to fight for everything. It feels like you're moving to a place in the future that I feel is brighter, gives more clarity, it's happier. It's like a breakthrough. I've got to go. I've got to leave this place where all I'm doing is fighting for things that I want. The King of Swords is here. Bottom of the deck is always the future energy for me. It's clarity. It's realization, and it's facts. Factual things. There's no question. It feels like with the moon energy here, things are not as they seem. But I also feel like your wish fulfillment is maybe with the moon energy, that you don't see it, that happiness and wish fulfillment comes when you make a clear decision with just the facts, head over heart, to move forward towards something that's going to make you happy, Pisces. Tell me about the Seven of Wands. It feels almost like you're tired of holding boundaries and fighting about asking somebody for attention, or it feels like I've just got to stand up for myself and I've got to go. I need to be happier than the place that I am right now. We've got the Three of Swords, we've got the Ace of Wands, and the Two of Swords. We've got Five Swords. You were fighting with yourself about whether you should or not. I feel like it's time to go. Yeah, it does feel like that with the Ace of Wands here. I feel like it does feel, I would say exhilarating, maybe a little bit exciting. This is a decision that I feel was hard to make, but I feel like you're listening to your intuition as you're making this. And once you get the feeling of balance, I feel like you're out. It feels like, because we got Libra on either side of the Ace of Wands here. Once you feel that you are balanced and you've made the right decision, you're going to stop fighting yourself and you're going to go. But it feels like you've been thinking about moving forward to a happier place for a while. The Death card is here. Something is over. Something is over and must transform. Energy never dies, right? It just changes formation. And we've got Temperance here. Everything is pointing the moment of alchemy, that something is over. It's time to move forward and be happier. Sorry, I stopped talking because I do that when I hear a song, and I heard a song. I'm clairaudient, so songs always come in. Happier is the name of the song, and I don't really know who sings it. It's that one with the marshmallow on his head. I want you to be happier. Yeah, so I feel like you're moving on because it's not only a realization that you were unhappy, but that whilst you leave, you free up someone else to be happier as well. The morning comes, and I'm sitting here with my thoughts. The light of the day is eating me up inside. Anyways, go look at the lyrics. There's something here. We have the World card. Something is definitely over here. We have the Knight of Wands and the Five of Wands. Whew. I just want to take a breath for a second. So it feels like hesitation. Yeah. Somebody here is leaving something after a while. It feels like this has been a whole life cycle with somebody or someone, or this could be a job. Listen, it could be a job, it could be a person, but it feels like a situation. I'll just say a situation. A situation is coming to an end because it's run its cycle. And I feel like somebody is going out in a blaze of glory because the Knight of Wands is here with the World card. And what I mean by that is you're not giving any notice if it's a job, or I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying it feels like you're walking out of somewhere. You're just saying, I need to go. I need to be happier. Because this is a place of chaos, and I'm tired of trying to fight for your attention, or trying to fight for attention. It could be a place of work, right? I'm tired of trying to fight for attention. I need to stand up for myself, and I need to go to a place that's calmer and happier. And I think that your intuition has been bugging you to do that for a while. I really do feel that it's going to be heartbreaking initially, but with the Ace of Wands, it's a brand new, exciting beginning. But I feel like this Five of Wands is telling me that you held back for a really long time because you didn't want people to see you as unstable. You didn't want them to see you as taking some sort of a crazy risk. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Pisces? We've got the Seven of Cups. It was confusing, but I think it's time to burn it to the ground. I'm just going to say Scorpio energy, and it's Mars influenced, right? So it feels like it's just time to burn it to the ground. It was time the destruction of it was necessary. And I was seeing that in this card here with the Five of Wands, that you held back because you knew that it was going to cause destruction. I feel like people are confused as to why you're going, or a person is confused as to why you're going. But I feel like you are in this Knight of Wands energy. I just need to go. I have to do it for me. I feel like you're being really brave by bringing some sort of cycle to a hard close because you need to be happy. Yeah, somebody lately, I want you to be happier. I think you're saying that to someone else. I want you to be happier. If I make you so miserable, then I want you to be happier. Go if you want to go. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Ten of Cups. You will be happier, friend. You'll be in the Hermit energy, but you will be happier. Look at this. Look. I'm going to say, if this is you I'm talking to, and I'm giving you my intuitive psychic energy, and that is somebody here is leaving a marriage. They're leaving a marriage or a long-term relationship, and I'm telling you, where you are headed is happier because you're headed to your place of healing. The Hermit is here. You'll be much happier alone, happier in your Hermit energy, taking care of you, being honest with yourself, and being able to look at yourself in the mirror. And where will that lead you? Right there. It will lead you to the Empress energy. I feel like somebody here has outgrown the place that they were. I'm tired of fighting for your attention. This could be a friendship. This could be your parents' home, but it could be a relationship as well, a romantic relationship. And I feel like everybody's confused as to why you close the chapter and you're out. Because I feel like your intuition is banging on the door saying, are you doing this or are you not? Because now is the time to do it. Yeah, it's going to give you much more stability. Look, you're taking charge. I love it. You're taking charge as the Emperor here. And when we take charge like this and make major moves after a chapter has closed here with the World card, that is masculine energy. It is. That's what we need, whether we are women or men. We need the masculine energy to make these great big moves. And I think this is one of the biggest moves that you will make in your life. That's what it feels like. But I think it's leading to healing. It's leading to growth. It's leading to you growing into the Empress energy. Because that's what happens when you're alone. You're happy. Tell me I know. We've got the Chariot. We've got the King of Swords. And the Tower. Look, I'm just going to say you're making the right decision. The Chariot and the King of Swords tells me discipline of the mind. This isn't something you take lightly. You didn't do it on a whim. This is something you need to do to give yourself stability. You need to go. 6 Swords is here. 6 Swords is here. The King of Swords is the one who's making the best decision for everyone involved. So you're making the decision for more people than you. You're like, I don't want to fight for attention anymore. I don't want to fight. I'm not doing this anymore. It's too chaotic and I need a calmer place to go. But the Chariot is about keeping, it's like when you are in the Empress energy, you have balanced your feminine and masculine energies. It feels like somebody here wants to be in their feminine energy. And if you don't want me to be, then I've got to go. But I think your decision, your clarity that you give someone is what causes a Tower. Everything is shifting in your life. So if everything seems like it's out of sorts right now, and it doesn't have to be disastrous with the Tower, but nothing is ever going to be the same as it ever was. You've changed your mind. You've shifted your thinking into a very different place whereby I think that you were in a relationship that you were unhappy in. And it scares the hell out of you. And it scared the hell out of me too. But look, I think that you need to do what you need to do because the Swords are 9 and the 1 in the King is 10. And I felt defeated. I felt betrayed. I felt like everything was out of sorts, out of balance. And if everything's going to be out of balance, then fine. Let's pull it all to the ground. Let's blow it all up because I'm pretty darn sure the King is never unsure. This King has thought about every possible scenario. So I feel like, Pisces, that you are making some sort of really big shift, whether that's in your career, in your job, in your relationship. I think somebody here is probably leaving a relationship because you've outgrown it, Alice. You've outgrown it. I think that you have grown beyond the boundaries and you're about to step into Empress energy, but it's going to take you being in Hermit energy. It's going to take a lot of healing. This is where we go for self-preservation. It's going to take a lot of healing. It's going to take a lot of growth. But look, ultimately, you get the 10 cups. You get to be happy, even if it's by yourself in the Hermit energy. That's where I ended up with my healing. Anyways, we've got the Empress, which is Libra and Taurus. You could have one of those placements. We've got Piscean energy. We've got Virgo. We've got Gemini. We've got Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We've got Sagittarius, Leo energy, lots of Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo, Scorpio energy. Yep, more Leo, lots of Leo. Somebody here is brave. I'm just going to say, this is probably the bravest thing you've ever done. I'm going to leave this right here. Thank you, Pisces, for coming here and watching. If you are not a Pisces but have a placement and you've made it all the way up to here, thank you so much for watching this. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back because I love you too much to stay away. I'm out. See you guys. Bye-bye.